Welcome back to the Jacob McLaughlin podcast and radio show. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday or whatever day you guys are listening to this. It is Saturday around noon. Just got done doing some classes here at JSF. Jeremy is out of the office in Hawaii celebrating their reunion or honeymoon or whatever it is. I don't know. I think it's their anniversary actually, so I'm just making up words now. But decided to stay here and do a little podcast that I think a lot of people need to hear. It's something that I see all the time with my clients. I experience in my own life, and it's just something I think that we can all go over, that we need to kind of pick through, and somebody just needs to hear this. And it's your past doesn't define you. And this is, I think, the biggest one in a lot of people's lives because we have so many regrets. A lot of people have regrets, and they wish they could do things different, but they keep focusing on those regrets, and it can take them down some dark roads. So I just wanted to do a podcast on it, just kind of do some touching points, just to talk through it, give you guys some encouragement, and then also just knowing that we all have a past, you know? So just getting into it, before I start into it, you guys can see I don't have a mustache anymore. I decided to shave it because I have a wedding coming up this week and I'm not allowed to have it, as you guys know. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. If you're on YouTube, on Instagram TV, if you guys are on Facebook or wherever you're seeing this or on the podcast, appreciate you guys jumping on. If you guys haven't, please press that subscribe button, or if you could jump over onto iTunes and give this a 5-star review, I would appreciate it so much. But let's get started on today. You know, we're going to start it off with a quote just to get us going about how your past doesn't define you. And so what it's going to be is we're going to start off with this quote. We all make mistakes, have struggles, and even regret things in our past. But you are not your mistakes. You're not your struggles. You are your here now with the power to shape your day and your future. By Steve Maraboli. I think I said that right, but I probably didn't. But yeah, basically it's a great quote going over, we all had a past. You know, we've all had things that we probably wish we could change, that we wish we could redo, that we wish never happened to us. But in the reality, it did. We can't change it. And so we are in today's world. We are in the place we are. We have to deal with what we've done or what's happened to us, and we just have to go through it. So I bring this up because I see it every single day, not just here at the gym, but just out in general in life, and we experience it in our own. We'll have old memories come back that we messed up in a situation, or we did something that we're not proud of, and we wish we could go back and change it. And so many times I talk to people and they feel like they're the only ones, and I try not to laugh, but I'm just like, man, we all have things. We all have problems. No matter how perfect somebody's life seems, I can tell you guys from experience, you can see the happiest people you've ever seen in your life, and you're like, oh, I just want to be like them. And the things they struggle with will just blow your guys' minds. So just understand that everybody has mistakes. Everybody has made past things that they wish that they could go back and change. And I always just like to use myself because it's the easiest one to do. You know, I'm not who I am today. I haven't always been this guy. And what I mean by that is I try to be as encouraging as I can all the time. I try to be positive. I try not to be negative, you know. Sometimes life gets me down and I'm not the best guy to be around, but I try my best, and I'm trying to just be more encouraging every single day and, be a light in somebody's life. And that's my goal every single day now in the position. Sorry, I can't even talk today. I'm tired. Position that I'm at. But I always wasn't like this. Back in high school, I look back, and even though it was such a short time ago, I was such a jerk. And I wish I could go back and somebody could just punch me in my face because I needed it. But I just couldn't believe, especially it would probably been my senior year. I was probably pretty good throughout that. But that junior, senior year, I went to a small school, if you guys didn't know, there's 50 kids I graduated with. So super small in small town Iowa. And I was a jock. I was pretty good at sports, ended up going to play college basketball. So I wasn't bad. But because of that, I thought I was better than so many other people. And I showed it that way. I was sometimes disrespectful to teachers because I thought I was better than them, and I would treat others with disrespect. And looking back on it, I have so many regrets of how I treated some people, and it really sucks to see that. But I can't change it. I can just go and apologize to them now and hope they forgive me and just be like, I didn't know any better and now I do. So that's something I think that comes for a lot of people is we don't know a lot of times any better, and then we make mistakes. And I hear it a lot with relationships. I have a lot of people talk to me that they messed up in a relationship, that they did something wrong. But now they know not to make that mistake. So again, so many times we look at the past as such a bad thing, but as long as you're always learning, it's such a big thing. I think that can be a positive impact. But the one thing I do want to touch on that comes with this, about your past defining you, is it's the pain. When we think of the past, we think mostly of the pain of the past, not so much the goodness of the past, like all the great things that came. No, we usually focus on the bad things of the past. And I just want to share a quote. This quote's actually, I just got it from church. I was at church, I remember it was like 3 years ago, and it's something that just never left me. And our pastor said, if you focus on the past, you'll be depressed. If you focus on the future, you'll be anxious. So live in the present. And that quote changed my life, because I was just like, it was so true, because like here I didn't know where my life was going to take me in a year, 6 months, tomorrow, but I would be focusing on it, and I'd be like all nervous, and I would get these pits in my stomach that I'm like, oh my gosh. But then you look at the past and like how it used to be, and then you're depressed because it's not that anymore. And I find us doing that even more. Like even if you're not in a bad situation, but you look at the old place you used to be and you like that better, now you're in a present state that you're depressed. So that's one thing I just want you guys to think about is, it's okay to know you had a past, but not to focus on it, because we can't change it. And I think sports are a great thing with life. And Kobe Bryant had one, and he's like, I remember listening to a video by him, and they say, what shot do you focus on? And he's like, my next shot, because he's like, I can't change the old shot. I can't go back and remake a missed shot. And when I played basketball, that changed my whole mindset, because I used to miss a shot and I'd get pissed and I'd be like, oh, how could I just miss that shot and all that? But then I realized, I'm like, what does getting mad and just being grouchy about it do? Nothing. It's not going to change anything. So I think, when we think about things like that, it's the truth of it. We can focus on the past, but it's not going to change anything. Now, going back into the pain of it, I think with the pain, there's a lot of things that I talk to clients and people that they just can't change, that they wish they could have. Like parenting. I hear the most with parents, they're like, I parented wrong. I didn't teach this correctly. I didn't do this right. And they have all this regret in their life. And they just feel so like they messed up, that they ruined their child. And it kills me sometimes when I see it, because it's like, you didn't. You did what you thought was best at the moment you thought. Like you only did what you knew best at that present time when you did it. It's like people don't go, and we joke around here at the office, people don't go and purposely try to screw their kids up. Like that is not the goal of any parent, at least the ones that I've met. Your goal is not to screw your kid up. But like what happens is they'll be like, I taught them all wrong. And it's like, that might be true, but you were doing what you thought was right at that moment, and that's all you knew. So like, I hear it so much with parents, and the regret they have in their voice when they talk about their kids and how they raised them. And then it's just like, you did the best you could. And now you may look back at it, man, I was bad, but like, that's the reality of it. Like it's just like me with personal training. Look back, I'm way better than I was 3 years ago. And am I saying I'm great? No. But it's like, that's anything in life. You're never as good as you were when you first started. So you pick up a basketball when you're 5 and you suck. You can't dribble a ball, you can't shoot it, you don't know, but you practice and you get better. And that's what this brings us into our life. So I just wanted to hop on here, you guys. Like, just know that your past doesn't define you, because we've all had things happen in our lives, but it doesn't have to be who you are in the future. And I just will bring a quick story. And like, if a lot of you guys haven't heard my story, and I haven't really put a lot about it, but if you personally know me, like back in the day, how I got to where I am today, of like who I want to be, and like going to church, and like I'm a Christian, and I tell that because some people want to know, some people don't care, and I just share that because if you knew me before I found Christ, it was it was partying every weekend, it was sleeping with girls all the time, it was just living that materialistic life. and you think it's going to bring you so much happiness, and then you find out it doesn't, which is huge. And that's what brought me to going away from that. But with that, if I would just sit there and focus on all the things I used to do, like, I would be depressed. I want to be able to move forward to the person I am now and who I am becoming, because that's what drives me. Is I have the goals of the man I want to be one day. And if I sat here on the past of all the bad things I used to do, or the things that I don't agree with what I do now, I want to be in a good space in my head. I want to be in a good space of who I am as a person. So I just want you guys to remember that, like, just because you did things that aren't you now doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because you're focusing on it. Like that's who I was, that's my past, that's a part of me, but it's also made me who I am today, and it makes me who I'm going to be. I'm going to drive, and now I know I don't want that stuff. I have so much bigger things on my life than just, drinking and sleeping with women. So like, that's just something that I want to put out there, because I feel like there's a lot of outside pressure, a lot of stuff that comes from people that they feel like they did this stuff in the past, but now they can't get over it because they still did it. And it's like, you just gotta let go. That's sometimes the best thing, is just letting go. And it's not forgetting, because you're never gonna forget it. It happened. You did it. You made those actions, and that happened in your life. But you don't have to focus on them. So it's coming back to the same thing of going with the past doesn't define you. Is we all did things, we messed up. We all had things in our own life that we don't agree with and that we wish we could change, but we can't. So what we can do is we can focus on today, we can focus on the future, and we can focus on what we want our life to look like here and now, and then moving forward. And now I know I'm kind of going back where I said don't focus on the future because you'll be anxious. Well, it's not focusing on the future, you're focusing on the now, but you have a vision in the future where you want to be. Like I have a vision very clearly where I want to be in 10 years, and I'm not going to focus on it. But what I am going to do is I have a little plan that's going to help me make steps to get there in that 10-year span, to be where I want to be with my life and where I want to be at overall in my points. So I hope this helps somebody, you guys. I just wanted to get on here. I know it's a quick little rant, but it's just, just don't focus on who you used to be. Focus on who you are today. And if you're not where you are, where you want to be today, which none of us are, just being honest, like I'm not close to where I want to be, but I'm light years ahead of where I used to be. Just focus on becoming the best version of you. That's all you can focus on. And if you're not happy with where you're at, if you're not happy with where you're at in a relationship, if you're not happy with where you're at financially, or with your exercise and your health, start making changes today. I'm not saying drastic and break up and then go work out and eat salads every day. No, I'm just saying start making changes, small little increment changes today that are going to help you get to where you want to be. So hope you guys enjoy this. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend or a great week whenever you're watching this. And I appreciate you guys always tuning in. Make sure you guys always are hanging out with people you love and doing things you enjoy, because your life is too short not to. I know I'm switching it up on you guys every single time, but why do the same thing twice, right? All right, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.